Good morning, everybody. I'm Jen. I'm reporting from my room, and welcome to Debunk It. Today's claim is mother's milk could help fight coronavirus. That is something we had to comment on. We actually found this claim being made in the South China Morning Post by a writer named Stephen Chen. Not only there, but we found it in many articles. And the reason is because new research was actually published in Beijing by a team led by Professor Tang Yingyang from the Beijing University of Chemical Technology. In which they actually took breast milk from 2017, way before the pandemic, and they tested the effects that it had on the cells that were exposed to the SARS coronavirus. They gathered, the results that they gathered were two things. It was that the majority of the living virus strains were killed by the breast milk, and the breast milk actually prevented the replication of the virus. So that's sufficient evidence for us to determine whether this claim is valid or not. No, it's not, because in the same article, they talk about how the research is from a non-peer-reviewed paper. And so that was really something that we looked into. We went to bioRxiv, the database the paper is published to, and we went to their frequently asked questions, and they do verify that do not do peer review. So what does that mean? We went to Publiso, and they talked about how when a paper is peer-reviewed, they have experts from the field commenting on it, analyzing very and actually looking into the quality of the work and the claims being made in the paper. And, it just provides assurance that the claims being made is true. And, there are other experts in the field to back it up. So this paper is actually not peer-reviewed, and that, it's really questionable, because this could have been the case in which the researchers from Beijing paid a fee for their paper to be published in the database bioRxiv, and then it was released out to the internet. That's just, there's not enough verification with the research when it comes to the research being made. And so, this claim should have not been made from a paper that was just solely published without any other experts commenting on its findings. And for us, that was something that we had to consider when it came to verifying whether this claim was true or not. And here's Aminata.
Good morning. Thank you, Jennifer, for that intro. Now that you guys know what the claim is and know that there isn't really true evidence that shows breast milk can fight off COVID, we know that breast milk helps fight off diseases for the newborn as they're aging, because it builds up their immune system. We are still unaware of the transmission from mother to a newborn of COVID, but CDC put in place of guidelines on how, if a mother is indeed breastfeeding and they have confirmed that they have COVID, what they should do. So basically, number one, they should always wash their hands before breastfeeding and have a cloth over their face while breastfeeding. And if they are scared and fearful of the fact that they have to have that intimate relationship with their child, they can use a bottle and breast pump to give to their child. But before all of that, you have to sterilize the bottles, sterilize the tip, and just make sure that everything is clean and proper for your newborn to use. And in fact, it is inevitable for a mother to not be able to breastfeed their child, because breast milk is loaded with antibodies that can help fight off viruses and diseases. Like I said, we don't know that if it can help fight off COVID, but we know that if a mother does have COVID, there are some rules and regulations that a mother should do in order to give their newborn all the nutrition that they need for the first 6 months of life up until 2 years, which is recommended by doctors. So now we are going to give the mic to David. Bye, guys.
Thanks, Aminata. CBS, an institution with a long-standing track record of professional journalism, released an article directly refuting the evidence supported in our subject. They bring on Dr. Diane Hess, a pediatrician working at the time of COVID-19, who states that most of the patients she sees are, in fact, the adults that have contracted the virus from children acting as carriers. If anything, her empirical evidence would suggest that it is actually more dangerous for your own health to breastfeed a child during the COVID-19 epidemic rather than serving as a holistic cure for the disease. She goes on to state that the mortality rate in children is about 0.5% because it is so prevalent among children, though she does admit that this is an educated guess based upon her own findings. Upon reviewing the evidence and coming to the conclusion that the claim was indeed false, several questions arose. The foremost among them being, did South China Morning Post reveal this information intentionally or not? In other words, was it misinformation or disinformation? Our final verdict was that the information reported in the article was simply disinformation. We came to this conclusion based on a variety of factors. Firstly, they did base the article on research being done by a company called Beijing Research. Due to the lack of a connection we were able to uncover between Beijing Research and Alibaba Group, the holding company that owns the South China Morning Post, we were led to believe that the mistake was not intentional. Moreover, we did not uncover a history of the journal publishing false information, so there were no grounds to believe that they would do so now with no clear motivation. Thank you very much for listening to our report. And if you would like to do your own fact checking, we've included some tips at the end of our video. Have a good one.